Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to the channel where if you've been watching, we have been covering every Pink Floyd album from their debut onwards, and of course, today we're going to continue on that track following their album More, an album that belonged to the movie of the same name. Following that, though, we had the 1970 release, this live studio album hybrid, Ummagumma, or maybe it's pronounced Ummagumma. I don't know. I've heard different variations. I don't even know if the band truly knows altogether, because they even seem to pronounce it in different fashions. However, today we are covering just the live side of this album, which is only about 39 minutes or so, and we're going to, of course, upload the full unedited reaction of this to my Patreon for $5. But while we're on that topic of Patreon, live albums typically will always be under the $10 tier. I do want to cover more live albums, and that will be exclusive, not on this channel at all, such as Live at Pompeii from Pink Floyd, which I will cover under the $10 tier and will not be on this main channel. So if you want that, go ahead and check out the Patreon, check out the tiers, and see what I'm doing there, because like I said, live album reactions typically are going to stay only exclusive to the $10 tier. But seeing as this is kind of tied into a main album, studio album release, I thought I would do this live section for the main channel as a little sweet treat for you guys to see, what the Patreon live album offerings truly are. So again, if that sounds interesting to you, please check out the Patreon. It's linked down below. It will also be in the comments section. But moving on, let's get into today's album. Kicking it off, we've got Astronomy Domine, which of course we know kicked off their discography on Piper at the Gates of Dawn for their first track. So let's go. Live song, 8 minutes, doubles the original length. Syd Barrett, by the way, from what I gather, has no part in either side. Love that descent. Nick Mason's drumming, by the way, very, I would say underrated, to be quite honest with you. Oh. Okay. Already, I think this is where we're seeing a bit of a shift, perhaps, from the original. I've been wondering how they're gonna pad out the time. Such a ominous, sort of menacing tone to this playing. I love this more kind of cute, whimsical nature. Is this my man Perhaps Richard Wright here. Also, Richard Wright might be my favorite Pink Floyd member. Personally, I always like what he brings to the table. Quite sparse. Okay. Love the spring, like, kind of instrumental, you know, it's so kind of full of a whimsy. Oh, oh, oh. Nick Mason bashing those drums. I love these ramping up guitars too. This one more of an odyssey than that original track, especially that midsection. Ooh. A great opener, I would say. I liked what I like this kind of variation on that original. More of a jammy, more of a tranquil odyssey, especially that midsection. An impressive sort of live version. I liked it quite a bit. Let's keep it going. Let's go on to Careful with That Axe, Eugene, which I believe was a B-side from an earlier single in their catalog. Not familiar with it as a singular track, so this will be completely fresh to me. Here's 8 minutes 49 seconds. Careful with That Axe, Eugene. Nearly 9 minutes. Let's go. Which is clearly the most popular as well from this double LP. Is that all the lyrics are? Well, seems like we're in for a doozy. We're in for a journey here. This is a beautiful, gorgeous 2-minute open so far. Quite a haunting, delicate track. Again, I feel like hinting heavily at what's to come of their more prog rock epics in the mid-70s. Oh, getting very loud. Oh my goodness. Is that Gilmore? An ear-piercing scream. Oh, Mason, you're drumming. Do it again. Oh, a little unpredictable. I love that rattling, that cycle. And these guitars, quite harrowing and mellowed out and I would even say, to some degree, perhaps like a touch of metal-esque. A bit proto-metal. I really like this one. It's quite gentle in its escalation, but such a mammoth of a sound in that midpoint. Really showcasing the, again, proggy, delicate, careful tension of the band. That, of course, they would go on to master. I'd even argue this is a smidge post-rock in a way. Love this. That kind of like careful isolation to the very end. Beautiful. Careful with that oxygen. Just a great track from beginning to end. I feel like that escalation, that midpoint, and that de-escalation are done quite beautifully. Incredible playing from, of course, all members here. Nick Mason continue to killing on the drums there. Just incredible performer. Just a great track. Definitely the standout track so far. I mean, we're only on track 2, but I have a feeling that is going to be the case perhaps for the entire LP. But let's keep it going here. Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun. This is the Saucerful of Secrets cut. Of course, closing out the first half of this will also be the title track from that record. But Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun live, 9.5 minutes. Which I really liked this one on that second LP. I remember it was one of the ones I liked more. I think I remember I liked this more. Again, meditative nature that came with it. Which I'm always a fan of, that hypnotic tranquility. Or an omniscience. Okay. Nick Mason's drumming getting more rampant, while Gimmer's vocals fade away. Again, loving that Eastern sort of playing from Mr. Richard right there. And that swooping sound from the original, I liked it. And I love it here. Oh. Very like primal in the drumming. And that siren-like delivery of those guitars. Oh, we splash and we dial back. This is honestly a really great track off that original LP, Saucerful. But here, I do think they are elevating it quite a bit higher. But I am a sucker for a longer cut. I love how disturbed yet majestic this band can sound at times. For example, this whole passage feels quite eerie and desolate while still sounding quite magnificent and large. Oh no. Oh no. Very subtle. These moments. This might be better than the last track. I might even pick that over Careful with That Oxygen. Also making me realize just how much I love that original track off Saucerful. And a quite underrated track. Yeah, you know what? Set the Controls for Heart of the Sun. A great track. Great in its original form. Elevated to a much greater extent on Ummagumma here. I really like what I'm hearing from this LP. I went into it with some pretty low expectations, considering this album is considered to some to be the biggest misstep of their entire catalog, at least of the pre-80s type section. But personally, I'm really liking the live side. Maybe the studio side isn't as good. Maybe that's where it really falters, but I guess we will find out in the next video. But let's keep it going. Saucerful of Secrets live, 12 minutes. Almost 13. Final cut here of side 1, and also a great track on its own album. I personally liked it more than Interstellar Overdrive. I know that is blasphemous to some, perhaps, but I really liked it, and I want to hear it here live. Let's get into it. How will it compare? You know what's funny is I get strong Godspeed You Black Emperor vibes from these more drawn out instrumental pieces, which does remind me that, they're treading ground on post-rock. I would argue. Which in many ways was an evolution of prog rock to some extent. Oh my goodness. Oh, here we go. Right back into this. Boom. Nick Mason falling down the stairs. And I love it. A sense of madness in it all. Oh my god. Quite abstract in the playing here. Unhinged. Just whamming out. Quite a dizzying array of sounds. It's like psychedelic and noisy. I'm so impressed that Mason's still keeping up this rhythm. I'm not sure how I'm comparing this to that original mix. I might actually like the album version more. But I do remember, I do love this funeral-like, choir-like, church-like outro. Which looks like it's going to take about 4 minutes. Kind of a Western influence I'm getting more on this too. It feels like we're on a journey in a sense. Walking into the sunset. Oh, hold on. This is, I think, an addition? Oh, Gilmore chanting out. Quite spiritual in his delivery. I love this. Never mind, this outro wraps it up beautifully. This organ too, Richard Wright, playing his heart out. Wow. Yeah, definitely stuck the landing. Definitely elevated to a point that I would say is comparable, if not better, than the original mix from Saucer Full of Secrets. Hear the applause. And that is where we're going to pause it for today, because like I said, this is going to be a two-parter video. I wanted to split up the live side and the studio side, and as such, that is the end of the live side. It's only about 39 minutes, I believe, but I gotta say, I actually found this side to be quite an impressive feat. I think they sound more unified and more kind of concrete in their idea and vision than anywhere else in the first few albums, for the most part, even with Syd Barrett. And again, no disrespect, I think he has his own sort of vision with the band that was very different from where the band went, obviously. But I personally really like this direction, and I personally feel like they sound more like a unit rather than being following a leading man, I should say, of Syd Barrett. Here it feels like they are instead kind of working together hand in hand to make a larger whole. And tracks 2 to 4 especially, I feel like they are back to back pretty solid, beautiful, great pieces of music that show their potential quite a bit, and what they are definitely capable of and what they deliver on in the mid-70s. This is just a great taste of that. Personally, Saucer Full of Secrets and Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun, I feel like they both kind of take their original tracks from that second LP and again elevate them to a much more prog rocky, almost post-rock like delivery that is very tranquil, very hypnotic, very beautiful, showcases every member with ease. Really just loved both of those tracks. And Careful with the Axe, Eugene, I don't know the original mix, but I gotta say I also thoroughly enjoyed that one. So a very meditative 39 minutes, a very epic, massive crescendo type kind of live album. Just really enjoyed it. Not much more to say. I mean, I've heard these tracks for the most part in their original fashion, so I'm not too shocked necessarily about the melodies or the direction it went. I just think that they definitely sound better here, more unified here, and superior to pretty much everything that came before this. So a great first side, which is shocking because I thought this album was kind of a dud to most people. But perhaps that's side 2, which we will get into the next video, of course, which shouldn't come out much long after this, maybe a day. So that does it for today's video. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe. And also, while we're on the topic of this live LP, check out the Patreon. Like I said, you can watch this fully unedited video on my Patreon. I will put this one under the $5 tier for my original unedited videos from the channel. But, you know, if you want to see the live at Pompeii mix, the live at Pompeii reaction from Pink Floyd, I know that's a pretty big release of theirs, and it seems to be having a little bit of a big re-release this year. I plan to cover that and put it under the $10 tier when I can, and hopefully I can get the video component with it, and I will react to the video as well as the music itself in that video. So if you want live at Pompeii, Pink Floyd, full reaction, $10 on the tier on the Patreon, please, it would mean a lot. However, if you don't care for Pink Floyd, you don't care for my reactions, then please stick around on the channel and subscribe, because I will keep doing other content such as Bjork, such as new album releases, such as hopefully one day a little bit of Daft Punk, because I've had some people asking, and whatever else tickles my fancy. But as always, my name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.